Hey, what's up, everybody? You are watching On the Town. Welcome back. Welcome back. We appreciate you being here this week. I forgot to tell you, I always forget this, but please like and, subscribe and share. We love when you share around here. Um, Tonight's guest is a native from New Orleans. He received his musical training at Loyola University, New Orleans, and the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. He has appeared with the Illinois Symphony Orchestra, amongst many others, the New Orleans Opera, and the Michigan Opera Theater. He has appeared in operatic roles such as the Customs House Official in La Boheme, the Imperial Commissioner in Madame Butterfly, Escamillo in Carmen. He has performed over 20 years operas, including Ada, I can say it wrong, Don Carlo, here we go, Le Nozze di Figaro, and others. And others. Please welcome baritone operatic singer Dorian Payton Hall. Hi.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. Wow, opera. I mean, that is amazing. I was trying to look up and see how many opera singers there are that I could think of that were African American, and it was only, believe it or not, about 20-ish altogether. Like, it's not like a lot.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot actually. That more than you would think. There's a cornucopia, like think of stars, but it's about visibility. How many are visible? How many get certain telecasts or productions? But they're more than you would think historically. But it's timing and history. You know, there's a certain history, unfortunately, of recognition. You know, not everyone's was given their due, not all, and those who should have been qualified. Right. But I'm honored. I definitely stand on the shoulders of so many and come from such a great legacy. The legacy, Marian Anderson and Roland Hayes and Robert McFerrin Sr., my voice teacher, George Shirley, Shirley Barrett of New Orleans, raised in California, Grace. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but there have been many. There have been many, but you know many. Some don't know 20. Some don't even know that there are 20 African American opera singers, but there are so many more.
I met one that used to go to a church I used to go to, Kathleen Battle.
Absolutely, of course.
Yes, there's Leontine Price.
Yes, great standard bearer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many great ones. And now, ironically, the only reason why I got into opera was I had an old boss. I used to sing. My adopted mother was a Baptist minister. My brother was an orchestra guy, whatever. And I played in the band. I played violin, viola, you name it. I did it all. And so I just love music anyway. And I didn't care if it was a Gregorian chant or a gospel. Either way, I'm good. So I had who was it that introduced me? Oh, my old boss, Andy from Andy's Cheapies on St. Mark's Place in the Village. It's a known store. He used to play Pavarotti and some other artists that we didn't like all the time when the customers were coming in the store. And so it's a difference between, you know how Pavarotti sounds. I mean, it's different than this other guy who's, I mean, it's like where your ears are like, well, if you don't understand opera and if you don't love opera, that will move you a different way, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Customers were like, can you tell them to turn it off? But that's where I fell in love with opera. And because I would tell them, I bought this for you today. Let's play this one. And he'd be like, I don't want that one. And he was insistent upon the one that was like, woo. And so anyway, I just want to know, what skills have you learned that helped you throughout your singing career? Because opera, like, how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a loaded question. Well, coming from New Orleans, and the heritage of New Orleans, we come from such an amazing place. There's a lot in the atmosphere. I used to hear the old teachers say it's in the water. There's something in the water, and everyone in my family sang. Everyone sang, was in the church choir, So my mother sang like a lark. She was the first soprano, and so. My first thing was my mother's voice. That was the first. And then I remember on Clarabelle, I remember my first piano teacher, the organist at my church, Louise Gable, Miss Louise Davis Gable. And she, I would like to say, she got me started. And then, she started exposing me to things. And you listen to this, and I remember we used to listen to a lot of it's exposure, I would say. We would listen to the Texaco Metropolitan Opera broadcast. On Saturdays, and my mother and my grandmother, we would clean the house and listen to opera because my grandmother and my mother, they loved opera. They loved that music. And so I grew up, it wasn't too foreign to me. I didn't know all the technical things about it. I hadn't studied foreign languages at that time. But when I got to high school, I had a teacher, and she began exposing me to new things and preparing me for college auditions. And then,
oh, what happened? Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to my guest. I think somebody hit a button, but hopefully they'll pop right back in and be back with us. I'm talking to the great. There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay. It happens. It's okay. I explained to people. Go ahead.
But it's building blocks. A lot of it's building blocks.
Okay.
And it's just one thing after another. So it's a little bit at a time, and it's learning and listening to a language. It's going over there if you have to. Learning the language, at least have a working knowledge of the basic singing languages: French, German, Italian, even Russian, and now Czech. It's all these things. It's all these things, and that's why we go to the conservatory. That's why you train long and you study hard. It's different now. Back in the day, you used to live with a teacher. The Spanish soprano Montserrat Caballé, she in Barcelona, she studied in the conservatory for 13 years. 13 years to master that voice, to master her art. So it's a process. It's a process. So it's not something overnight, but I fell in love with it.
Wow. When was the first time? Do you remember the first incident that made you say, "Oh, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. This is my calling"?
Yeah, well, I think the first time, I'll never forget 1991. I'll never forget that famous televised concert of spirituals in concert with the sopranos, Jesse Norman and Kathleen Battle. The famous 1991 concert at Carnegie Hall with James Levine and Sylvia Odenlee, Philadelphia's adopted daughter, Sylvia Odenlee. And I was only about 12 years old. But that made such an impression on me. And I said, well, maybe I could do that. I'd never seen, that was the first time I saw someone of my color, of my race, singing like that, singing, on that stage, on that stage, I should say, because I'd seen others, and I had my mentors. I had a few mentors that were opera singers, because my first vocal mentor was a member of the Moses Hogan Chorale.
Moses Hogan Chorale? He wouldn't happen to be one of the Hogans of our relation Hogans, would it?
Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so. But Moses Hogan, the Moses Hogan, a great composer and arranger of spirituals, of Negro spirituals, and he was a member of I believe, of the Mount Zion Church in New Orleans, and very much affiliated in the musical culture of Dillard University and of the city of New Orleans. And of course, it just went international, and he became legendary. He became a legend. He revolutionized the spiritual. He brought jazz and gospel overtones and rhythms and the new harmonies. He revamped what a spiritual could be. And that's why I always include a Moses Hogan, not to be egotistical, because I'm a New Orleanian, I'm very proud of that, of course, but because the music is great. It stands on its own. He really did bring it into the 20th and the 21st century, really teaching us what a spiritual could be. And bringing in the modern sounds and all those jazz and all those great chords and all the harmonies into from the church, from the modern Black church, and put it in classical form. And I always will include the arrangements of Moses Hogan and some of his pieces in my concerts, my recitals.
I'll have to look him up because that sounds like he brought the gumbo into the
Absolutely, absolutely, and then more, and then more. And he was an accomplished, not in his own right. He was a very much a very, very accomplished musician. Yeah.
What so I hear that the tenor is the highest common what is that, adult male singing voice, not including the tenor, but what is that, the most common or something? So I don't know. I'm relearning my opera as we speak, but I was told that the tenor is the highest common.
It is. Technically, it is. That's right. That is the highest classification of the male voice. But yes and no. Well, yes, but also there are countertenors. And technically, I guess now you'd say that's the highest classification of a male voice, the countertenor. But when we hear it, you think, oh, it sounds like it's a male. But you got to remember, women were not back in the 17th and 18th century. Beginning of the very, very early beginnings of the art form, women were not allowed on stage. So you couldn't have sopranos and altos on stage.
Is that why? Oh, is that why?
So the men, that's where the castrati, and that whole countertenor. Now we don't have castrati. That's inhumane. No one's castrating anybody.
Wow.
No, of course not.
That's very interesting when I think about it, because the one opera that I did see, the gentleman, he's in a boat. Oh my God, it was one of the most popular ones, and I'm having a senior moment. It's called oh my gosh,
there's so many. Is it by Verdi? Giuseppe Verdi? Is it Verdi opera?
I just know him and the woman are in the boat going through the little thing it's somewhere in Italy. It's dark, and he has a mask on his face. I forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh!
Well, that could be a couple of operas.
I know. I just remember, what is the name of the opera? I my friend Andrea, because she took me to see it. But I just remember I loved, because it was in Italian, and I yo parlate italiano un poco, just a little bit, a little bit.
Absolutamente, è vero.
Yes, just a little bit. I'm not a lot. Ciao, grazie. So I love Italian.
Poco parlo italiano.
A little bit. Yeah.
Parlo, yeah.
I haven't been in so long now. It's hopeless. But I can do my basics, basic greetings and stuff. It's easy, that part. But I just loved that it was in Italian, and I was like, I didn't even know what they were saying, but I was like, what? Oh, I mean, I left there crying, but it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Was it a love scene? Was it a love scene?
It's when I tell you what it is, man something. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to find it. When we take a break, I'm gonna actually go find it, because it's gonna drive me insane if I don't. But it's one of the most popular ones ever. It might still be on Broadway. I mean, that's how popular. It's very popular.
It's a Broadway. Now, is it an opera or operetta?
It's an opera. Sorry, it's an opera. I said on Broadway. Listen to me. Oh my gosh, really? I can't. It's been so many years, but I never forgot it. And I forgot the name, obviously, but I never forgot what was happening, even though I didn't know, because I didn't know Italian then, but I still loved it. It was just something about, when he would sing and when he would say whatever he would say, and she would say back to whatever she would say, the response was just amazing. You could feel something was going on. You could feel what was going on. You didn't have to speak the language. That's the best part about opera, if it's good.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. What do you consider the most important qualities to have or to aim for when you're starting out in opera? Like, is it the quality of the voice, vocal technique?
Well, of course, talent is a must. Talent is a must. Having a voice that is conducive to this art form. It's very demanding. It requires so much, but if you keep in mind it must be done in stages. The late Shirley Verrett, Madame Verrett, used to say, "Hurry slowly." I met her Anyway, I won't digress, but she had made an impression on me because she was born in New Orleans. She was from an old Creole family, although
Oh.
she was raised in California, and she was on the voice faculty at the University of Michigan.
Mhm.
And she was always very kind, very gracious toward not only her students, but everyone's students on the faculty. And she
Mhm.
spent a lot of time with us. So I don't mind giving a shout out to the memory of the late Shirley Barrett.
Shirley Barrett.
She still means so much, and she's so missed, sorely missed today by so many musicians and
Mhm.
opera singers. We really lost a gem, a jewel. But anyway, you must hurry slowly. It's a lot learning languages,
Mhm.
at least if not being fluent, but having a total this type of proficiency where you learn, you know, all you have a very, very strong knowledge, the
Yes.
working knowledge, as we say, of the language, having
Yeah.
good diction,
Right.
having a voice, taking care of your instrument,
Yeah.
taking care der Stimme, as we say in German, having understanding the Geist,
Mm.
the spirit or the essence of not only what you're doing, but also knowing every word that you're saying because you can't communicate. So you have to know enough of the language, learning languages, learning the technique, of course, learning about breathing, learning about the anatomy of the voice,
Right.
taking care of your body because our instrument is within us as
Yeah.
singers, and we can't just take it out. We can't fine tune it. We can't do like an instrumentalist. We can't do. We have to be very aware of our bodies. We are affected by the elements, the
Mhm.
weather. We're affected by what we eat,
Mm.
by what we do. If we get a cold, if we become congested, can you
Mhm.
still sing? It depends. Is it in the chest? Is the congestion in the chest? If it's in, then no, you have a problem. You can't fully resonate. All of those things singers have to think about so much. We have
Mhm.
to live a very disciplined life. We're not like, and that's unfortunate sometimes because sometimes you want to have a life. You want to party. You can't always go out and party. You can't
Right.
hang with people, or your family or your friends may try to assuage you or try to get you to do certain things. And
Right.
you can't do that if you have a performance the next day or a performance within that week or a month. You have to be very disciplined. You have
Discipline.
to train hard. It's like being an athlete.
Mm.
We are athletes in a way
Right.
because what we do is physical.
Right.
The
Right.
physical apparatus. You have to know about the anatomy of the body. What muscles do what? The intercostal muscles, the cricothyroid. What
Mhm.
happens when you sing a high note? What's going on? It helps to know all those things. Where your resonators,
Mm.
chest resonance,
Mhm.
nasal resonance,
Mm.
head resonance,
Mm.
the articulators, the tongue, the ridge, where to put an L, how to do this, it's just so much to know. There's so much you're always thinking about, and then it has to be effortless. It has to be effortless all at the same time, as if you're doing nothing. And
Right.
that only comes after it becomes second nature. You've been doing it so long and you don't even think about certain things.
Right.
That's hard. That's
Yeah.
tough, but that's why we train so long. We train hard and you have to stick with it.
Mm.
And if you're true to it, and if it's meant to be, it pays off. Hard work in this business does pay off. Everyone's not going to sing at the Metropolitan Opera. Everyone's not going to sing at La Scala, Teatro La Scala or Deutsche Oper or Staatsoper or Royal Opera House in London.
Right.
But that's not the point. But if you're people know,
Mhm.
they know excellence and they know um a good singer,
Mhm.
when they see one and when they hear one,
Mhm.
so acting is so much acting, the dramatic part, being able to show without showing, making it seem so natural that you would say, oh, that person, oh, they must speak, French, German, Italian very fluently.
Right.
Oh my goodness, like, it's just all second nature. It takes a lot. And knowing what you have and what type of voice you have, and when the orchestration, knowing when to just sort of lay back a little bit, when to sort of reserve your energy, knowing when to boom, give that forte, being aware of what's the dynamics and
Mhm.
of what's going on at any given time in the orchestration and the whole picture. It's a lot.
A lot. It is a lot, and it does sound like it's years of getting it to where you need to get to perfection, which is good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why they're so good at what they do, because it's not, they make it seem like, oh, I just woke up like this, but that's not how it works.
No.
And even with the languages, I used to be, my mind would be puzzled that, is she speaking in what? Italian? And I was like, I know she's not Italian, and she's speaking fluently, like I thought she was Italian, which is brilliant. German, I haven't seen one in German yet, but I mean, I can't wait to see that. I'm going to actually start YouTubing and see if I can find any just for fun, because it's like, I don't know. I love languages. I always have. But just the sound of something different sounds amazing. But one thing I noticed with opera singers, why is it that you never see an opera singer a size 0?
Oh, I think that's a myth. That's a myth. Yeah. Singers have to be athletic, but we all have a certain physical construct.
Right.
Everyone's not going to be a size 2. Everyone doesn't need to be a size 4 or size 6 or whatever. Right. But some have it.
Have you seen any that are very small opera singers? I've never seen them yet.
Absolutely. And absolutely. Okay. And it'll be shocking sometimes, because you will have some professional singers who may be of a very slim build, and you may look and say, oh no, that's not an opera singer. But that voice, they may have a grande, this huge voice comes out. You're like, well, that voice.
Even though she was an opera singer.
Big voice. Yeah. And then vice versa. You may see, someone that's built, have like a bodybuilder, and may have the most lyric and sweet, voice come out. You're like, oh, that's very nuanced. That's different. So you can't stereotype. I think there's a period, in opera where that may have been visible. And then I think people saw that, they stereotyped it, and they say, oh, well, that all opera singers look like that. But that's not true.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Leontine Price, I mean, she wasn't petite, but she was always, very, well, just healthy. She took care of herself. And then that's another thing too. Do singers take care of themselves? In any profession, whatever you do, everyone doesn't take care of themselves. But then two people do, like Pavarotti. He wasn't, a small person. He had a barrel, but he made it work for him. Yes. He made it. If you see him in his youth, in his prime, as we say, it didn't offend me. I wasn't offended when I watched videos or recordings. Videos or televised concerts or operas of Pavarotti. Pavarotti, he was just a well-built man. He was just, I thought he was just very handsome and very statuesque.
Right.
Jessie Norman was statuesque. I never thought of her as overweight. Maybe that's just a prejudice. I don't know. We have a society that can be very prejudiced against certain body types, it also depends on the role. You have to be realistic. It also I think sometimes, we live in the age of the stage director, and things have to be a little bit more realistic. So you can't, if you're playing Violetta in La Traviata, the Fallen Woman, Giuseppe Verdi, she's dying of consumption. Right. I wouldn't cast someone who's extremely voluptuous. That's not realistic. Right. That's not realistic. But if they have the voice, though,
right, and
if it's a recording, it doesn't matter. And if they have the voice to do it, as long as it doesn't look ridiculous,
right?
Everything has to be done in good taste, and with some truth, veritas. Veritas. It must be done in truth and with some class. But if it's sloppily done, and it doesn't look realistic, and you have someone that's very, very large stature doing Violetta, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. It looks ridiculous, and that's what some things were not always done in good taste.
Right. I get what you're saying. Do you mind if we do a clip of one of your performances?
Oh boy!
I know opera singers don't love hearing themselves. we're gonna make you listen. And
Oh, okay.
you want to hear something? I mean, I like for my audience to know a lot about everything, and opera is definitely on the list. We must be worldwide and world traveled and world renowned about everything. So here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen here, and let's pray that I get it right. Where's it at? No. Oh, here we go. Okay, good. I got it. All right, I got this. And here we go. Maybe I can make it bigger. Let's go here, and I'll go. All right, there we go. I can take this off. Let's see. We'll put this here.
Si vous me disiez que la terre à toi tournée vous offensa, je lui dépêcherai pas ça, vous la verriez fixer cette terre. Si vous me disiez que la nuit vous vient du ciel trop fleuri d'astres, déchirant les divins cadastres, je faucherai d'un coup la nuit. Si vous me disiez que l'espace ainsi vidé ne vous plaît point, chevalier Pierre, la noce au point, je croirais le vent qui passe. Mais si vous disiez que mon sang est plus à moi qu'à vos madames, je baignerai dessous le blâme. Et je mourrai vous bénissant.
What's up? We are back. You're watching On the Town with Tanya, and I'm here with opera singer Dorian Payton Hall. Thank you very much. That was a great piece. We always do a music segment on here. We love it. Great piece and great work. I've seen other stuff of yours, absolutely fabulous, and it's nice to know that music runs in the family somewhere.
Yes, it does. A lot. Yes, it does. It does a lot. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what was I going to say? What do you think has been your best performance so far, and what would be your ideal performance?
Oh.
Well, double whammy.
Well, I must say I don't perform as much as I used to right now. None of us do, because of COVID-19. But even before then, I did a stint where I was teaching more than performing.
Okay.
I enjoyed singing in the chorus. I did opera chorus for a long time. I enjoyed singing in the chorus, whether it was New Orleans opera, Michigan Opera, LA Opera. I did a stint with LA Opera, and being on that stage, such a historic stage. And I was even in the chorus. There's a lot of great work in the chorus. There are a lot of great singers in the chorus. I always tell people, don't put down chorus work. Don't look down on those choruses because they're getting paid. And not only getting paid, they're great artists. Everyone's not going to get a chance because so many singers, but not enough venues.
Right.
Not enough venues. Not enough. There's just so many, such a cornucopia, such a plethora of just talent out there and great singers, and just not enough opportunities sometimes. Everyone's not going to sing at the Metropolitan Opera.
Right.
And some will, some will get there later, you never know. But many people came out of the chorus. So I always say, never look down on any singer. Never, don't look. And I was taught this by my teachers, the late Philip Frohnmeyer at Loyola. He and his wife, Ellen Phillips Frohnmeyer. Mr. Frohnmeyer used to always say, the $200 job is just as important as a $10,000 job. Never, because you don't know who's in the audience. You do not know who's in that audience and who's around, who's listening, who can make and really start something for you.
Right.
And so you don't know. That's going to be your opportunity. Wow. And that's something I had to learn. So never say, I want do it and do your best, and because you don't know what that's going to lead to. And I must say, as a young singer, I had to learn that. I had to learn that sometimes. I had to learn that painfully sometimes. And when you don't do your best at every given opportunity, do what you can do, you may lose out on an opportunity. Young singers and students, especially project this out for the students and young people in the conservatory or the university. To work hard and work hard as you can, and every time you open your mouth is an opportunity. Every single time. Because you don't know what your mentors or what people can be able or willing to do for you. You never know. But it will be based on what you do. And nothing and other things good things can follow.
That is amazing. And thank you. Wow.
But I never fully answered the question. I'm sorry, I know, but it was not only the chorus work I did, but also the first breakthrough I had when I was at Loyola. I was a senior. I was assigned. I'd been sick much of the year. I'd been sick and I hadn't sung a lot. But when I had gotten better, the opera workshop director had assigned me. He said, well, I know you're not 100%, but let me see where the voice is. He said, you need to start singing on your voice. He said, singing into your rep. And he gave me this Verdi aria, but Verdi is hard, and it's a lot to sing Verdi. You just have to sing this legato. It has to be legatissimo. And so he said, but we're gonna try an aria, Chi mi toglie, from Verdi's Nabucco. And it's based on loosely on the biblical story of Nebuchadnezzar, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. And so Nabucco. And he said, let's see, Chi mi toglie. And it's not a long aria, maybe 20 to 30 bars, measures. But within those two or whatever it is, about three or 4 minutes, you just get. And I remember I surrendered. I said, I'm not going to push. I'm not going to, because I knew I wasn't 100%. I knew I was of limited resources. I was just getting back into vocal shape. But I tell you, sometimes less is more. Yes. And everybody, and they started calling me Nabucco. They started calling me King Nebuchadnezzar at school, the remainder of my senior year. One of the great baritones I admired at the time, and who was just singing all over the place in the grad program. He stopped me in the hall. He said, "You did great. You did great." And I think they still have something on tape, have that in the archival library at Loyola. But I tell you, that was the first time I heard what could be. What could be. I heard my true voice, and it was a breakthrough. And then, because I didn't even consider applying to the University of Michigan, I had a voice lesson with George Shirley, but I wasn't quite still sure that I could do it.
Right.
I was meant to do that, but that gave me the courage and the impetus to carry on. And then I had a very successful audition. University of Michigan has a very, very rigorous grad program. It's not easy to get into their master's or DMA, their doctoral program.
Oh,
But I got in, I auditioned, and I had, I would like to think I had the goods and what it takes, but I had good test scores, and I was academically sound. I wasn't worried about that, but I wasn't sure that I had the voice.
okay.
And Professor Shirley said, "You do, you do." They almost had to bribe me. Yeah, but come on, Dorian, do it, do it. But I was very hesitant. I was kind of shy about doing it because I was they had so much talent at Loyola, and at the University of Michigan, they had even more. I had to really put on my big boy pants. It was very intimidating. So
Wow.
much. I was in a sea of, oh my goodness, of great talent and
Wow.
amazing musicians. But that's a good thing because that motivates you, that
Yes.
push you. Got to push yourself, and you either sink or swim. And I
Right.
said, I'm going to drown, so I started swimming.
Well, Shonda Rhimes said it best. She said, if you were invited into the room, then you are whatever it is everybody else is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
with the fact that you were with them and doing your part, that should have been good enough for you to know that
yeah. And where I want to go,
Mhm.
yeah, and where I would like to go, I think trajectory. Excuse me, I'm been speaking of it. My trajectory, I think, where I want to go, where I'm headed,
Mhm.
is eventually an international career.
Mhm.
And hopefully, if it's the will of God, and if it's possible, I will sing on a big stage. But or I may become a teacher of great singers, and that's okay. Everyone doesn't have a big career. Some of my teachers, they didn't have big careers. They had a career, but they became known because they were the teachers of a lot of artists, great artists who had great careers because they were great pedagogues. And
Right.
there's no shame in that. There's no shame in leading the way,
None
leading the way. Yeah.
at all. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the town. We have two more things left: Sketch City, and we have another. I have unsigned artist section where we just try to look around and see who's out there that's not signed. So I appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Dorian Payton Hall.
Thank
Um,
you.
if you like opera, you might want to check him out. And actually, there is a YouTube page, isn't there? Isn't there a page where some of your music's loaded up for the event?
Yes. I believe it's DP Hall, DPH Michigan.
Is that
DP is my handle, DPH Michigan.
PH Michigan?
Yeah.
I got it right. I think I put it up there. Okay, that's good. That's awesome. So I appreciate it. Just hang out with us for a minute. We're gonna go to a sketch and then a song, and then we'll be back. And I know you said you have to go soon. So if you have to sign off, I totally get it. But we're just gonna take a quick break. Do you mind?
I don't mind at all.
All right, thank you. So here we go. Let's see what we got coming up here. Let's go for Sketch City. Oh, hello. You're Justin Bieber. Nice to meet you. What a pleasure. My granddaughter Haley has told me all about you. Justin. Would I like some soda pop? No, I wouldn't, but you can get my granddaughter here, Haley, some soda pop if you like. I'd like champagne, please. Yes, that's what I drink, champagne. Yes. How was the concert? Oh, it was quite interesting, Justin. Very, very interesting. No Cole Porter, no Bach, but you young people. Yes, you're so modern. You see, I like everything in the 1940s, Justin. That's just me. Now, one little suggestion for me to you is I would dress up if I were you. Yes, I would dress up, dear, because those jeans and that little jean jacket, that's not really fancy to go at your concert. So that's the only advice I'd have for you, Justin. But Haley, is the car here yet? Yes, I have a car waiting for me, Justin. I must really go now. But it's been a pleasure meeting you. And let me shake your hand. Yeah. Oh, Justin, you're fabulous. You take care of yourself now and dress up a little bit, just a little bit. Bye. Hey, you're watching On the Town.
There she goes, she's the one for me. We got the kind of love that a blind man can say. And she's my all in all. She's my everything. She's my seasons and my reasons. She's my summer, she's my winter, she's my spring. I'm in love with my best friend. I'm a lover, ooh, I'm a lover, tell the whole world and smile, please. I'm in love with my best friend. I'm a lover, tell the whole world and it's the reason that I'm still alive. She's the reason that I'm still alive. She took all the drugs and all the pain and bad stuff out of my life. And that's the reason why I can live with my hands clean, morally right. I'm in love with my best friend. I'm a lover, ooh, I'm a lover, tell the whole world. And I said, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm a lover, tell the whole world. And she's like, ooh, 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 ooh. She's my baby girl. She's my boo. And she's my ooh, ooh, ooh.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you very much. So as you can see, the technical skills here are not that stellar, but that's okay. It's always a work in progress on these Zooms. But thank you so much, Dorian Payton, for hanging out with us. You're the best. And let us know if you have anything coming up that we can support. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Well, I do have something coming up.
Oh, you do? Tell us about it.
On Sunday, February 20th. I think we're going to live stream through Facebook, but I will be doing a reprise, I should say, of my Music of African American Composers concert here in Philadelphia at the Church of St. Luke and the Epiphany, and that's on. It is in person. It is open to the public. Mm-hmm. And it's free to the public, but we will be accepting donations, free will donations.
Okay, and what's your Facebook page? We'll be looking for it. Is there a specific page?
I have not put.
Are you on?
It's on my wall. I think it's on my wall, but we're gonna make a page. We have not. I'm not sure. We haven't made the page.
Just let me know. Pass it to me, and I'll put it up.
I will.
That's
absolutely.
That's good?
Absolutely.
That'll be awesome. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to be with us. And guys, I can't believe it's that time. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't want to keep Dorian missing all the games. I appreciate you, Dorian. And
appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, we'll see you soon. Just hang out for one more second, and we're ending right now. Bye, guys. Listen, guys, I forgot to tell you, please go to the page, like and subscribe. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I love you. And thank you. Remember, together we are learning to grow as human beings, as people. We're learning about new people, places, and things. And we're not letting nothing hold us back in 2022. So everybody get it together, health-wise and mentally, and learn something or someone new. Bye.
Bye.